Peggy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is Peggy O'Reilly, another Democratic candidate for Treasurer Tax Collector. And Peggy, 3 minutes, please.
Okay, I'm Peggy O'Reilly, and I'm running for Treasurer Tax Collector because I want to bring a sense of responsibility to the office. I've never served in the public domain. I've come from the private sector. I'm a small business owner. I own my own firm. It's a financial consulting firm, and my clients are institutions, not people. Prior to that, I was a senior compliance examiner for FINRA. FINRA is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. It is a non-profit corporation. It's not a public or government agency. All broker-dealers in the United States has to belong to FINRA to conduct business. As a senior compliance examiner, I would go to firms, large and small firms, and conduct an audit, an exam. We did not only examine the financial books, we looked at their continuing business instructions, anti-money laundering. We did all sorts of books and records exam, but the financials are very complex. Broker-dealer financials are not just figuring out your net worth. You have to figure out your liquidity, and that means you have some assets that are allowable against that number and some that aren't. And I spent several years going to a lot of firms. Because I signed confidentiality agreements, I cannot quote you the names of the firms I examined or tell you any information I learned about it. And I wish I could, because there's some household names. Prior to that, I had worked at Bear Stearns, and I've worked in banks. I have my bachelor's and master's degree. I graduated with honors, and since I moved up to Ventura a couple of years ago, I've fallen in love with it, and that's why I'm here. I want to help out the county that I just love so much. In fact, as my mom, she passed away a couple of years, I had her institutionalized in Ventura County because it's such a much better place than Los Angeles. So I'm asking for your vote, and I appreciate any questions you ask me. I'll try to give you a straightforward answer as I can.
All right, and could everyone hear Peggy okay in the back? Just want to make sure. You maybe step a little closer.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, Peggy, you've heard some of the questions already that we asked Ed, but same ones for you. You did talk a little bit about your qualifications as far as auditing. Certainly the Treasurer Tax Collector has many programs. Could you elaborate a little bit on some of your qualifications as far as how that translates to the Treasurer Tax Collector and maybe managing the investments?
It translates, I think, very well, because first of all, you have to speak the language, of investment language. Because the Treasurer Tax Collector works with the investment officer in deciding the investments for the county. You also have to know what the risks are, because if you buy bonds, for example, the further out they are as far as years of maturity, the higher risk they are. I don't care what the classification label is as far as if they're investment grade. It's always risk to time. Look at Orange County several years ago that they went bankrupt. My examining skills is very important in keeping the policies of the department clean. You have to do internal audits to make sure there is no embezzlement, things of that nature. So those are the skills that I bring.
Okay, excellent. Well, you heard the question about the Public Guardian's Office, and we were asking Ed, really, besides just your financial background, let's talk about your management skills, because you have 50-plus people to manage there.
Right.
And how will you make sure that let's say, no criminal action takes place for many of your employees? There's no theft, malfeasance, anything like that. Just describe your management skills.
To me, that's a two-part question. I have supervised personnel before. I operated a company that was called United Multiple Listing Service. They did all the listings in LA County. They have since gone bankrupt, no thanks to me. And I have the managerial qualities. As far as keeping controls in the department, I believe it's almost like 5 steps. You have to have written supervisory procedures so that everybody knows what is expected of them. You have to have training. You have to have supervisors that oversee the job. You have to have a retention, like maybe once a year, have a general staff meeting, reiterate what the policies are, any new changes, and finally, the surprise exam. I think you have to, the employees have to know they are going to get audited when you're handling somebody else's money. And in the FINRA language, it was always follow the money. That was our saying, follow the money and you'll catch your crook.
Mm-hmm. Too bad the county didn't do that quite a few years ago before this. Well, we asked Ed about his outside of work. I mean, tell us a little bit more about yourself as far as what your interests are and how you're involved in Ventura County.
I'm not that involved in Ventura County because I've been so busy building my business. I have gone all over the nation with referrals. In the financial industry is a very small industry, so I've been building my business a lot. However, I love sports, absolutely love sports. Dodgers are my favorite. I like skiing. Prior to moving to Ventura, I took care of my mother, and that, someone with Alzheimer's, that's a 24/7 job. So last few years I've been devoted to her until she passed away.
I see. Peggy, you mentioned earlier as far as your business. If you are elected, are you planning to try and keep your business, or will you be doing something with that and full-time focus on the treasurer job?
I could close my business like that. And other past examiners of FINRA, I could refer them for the business. That would not be an issue.
Okay. Some of the other candidates who are running outside of the Democrats, I wonder if they're looking at this job as maybe a little bit more than part-time. It's a little management. You don't have to be there. Are you fully intending to be focused on this job much more than the 40 hours a week?
Absolutely. I know I've put in hundreds of hours. Well, I shouldn't say hundreds of hours a week, but more than 40 hours a week, not only my own business, but with FINRA, the traveling time, the education time, the training alone is like a 60-hour week. So yes, I am more than willing to put in the time, because you just can't close the office down at 5 o'clock if something's happening on the news that affects, investments. I mean, you just can't go to lunch at noon and say, "Oh, take care of it at 1 o'clock when the market closes." Sometimes you have to put your own personal feelings and desires aside and say, "Okay, I am running for treasurer because I want the best for the community and the county, and my own personal ideas in life have to be put aside." I'm not saying I'm a brain surgeon in an emergency room, but you have to be flexible and look above yourself to do what's right for the county.
Okay. Question is, if David Marin's late with his payments, will you waive the fees? Well, that's a good answer, actually, I guess. Peggy, we're at the end of our questions, but if you'd like to add anything else or mention your campaign or how people can help you, please feel free.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Any support you want to give me, I have information in the back with my address and email, and I look forward to a really good campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.